everyone, Randy here, and we're playing Farming Simulator 17 on the Hobbs Farm. And we're working on filling up the greenhouses here this episode, at least for starters. Hopefully this won't take too long, and then we'll move on to doing some planting here as well. I didn't look how much manure we got, so we'll just start by putting a scoop in them here and see how far that gets us. And then they do need water as well. Again, that shouldn't take too long to bring the water. Wouldn't mind trying the Big Bud DLC manure spreader here. But again, we don't really have enough manure to even really bother trying that at this point. And I'm not sure we ever will on this map either, so don't plan on doing that here with this manure. Like I said, we'll just keep it for the greenhouses, unless there's like a lot in here, which I don't think there is. Now, of course, if this was the Texas map, on the other hand, for those of you watching the Texas series there, we managed to get 10,680 cows there last episode. So yes, we did reach our 10,000 goal there on that map. And again, for those of you watching that series, we'll be switching maps here probably this weekend. Plan is going to County Lines map next. Okay, we got 3 of them full. Out of, what do we got? 8? I think we got 8 total, I guess it is. It's been a while since I placed these. I don't remember how many we have here again. All I know is the last time we filled them, we didn't have enough manure. And we haven't really bought any cows since then, so I can't imagine it'll be much better this time. We'll have to see once, I guess. Anyway, we'll read some comments here a moment. Panda Games was saying John Deere makes a 9629 RT. A 9629. I have not heard of that one. I might have to go refresh myself on John Deere's numbers again. Love it when those messages pop up there and kind of bring you to a dead stop. Matt was saying when you played on Oklahoma and Farming Simulator 15, was it a mod? Because I really liked Oklahoma. Yes. The Oklahoma map was a modded map. As is, Hobbs Farm here as well is a modded map. The only in-game maps are Goldcrest Valley and Sosnovka. So any maps outside of that are all mods. And at least for 15 anyway, it was, what, Bjornholm and Westbridge Hills, if I recall correctly. It looks like we might actually have enough manure to go around here. We'll see once, I guess. I think I thought that last time as well, and then we started getting down to the end. It's like, oh, crap, we don't have enough. Jared was saying, man, the boost for the combine harvest is way, way useful. Thanks for the videos. Yes, thank you very much for that. And for those of you not familiar with what he's talking about there, harvesting on the live stream there on Parker's Prairie, we were giving the combine a little bit of a boost with being pushed from the rear. Make it go a little bit faster. Nothing like harvesting at 30 miles per hour. Fresh Pank was saying, nice video. Thank you very much for that. Ryan Cow was saying, what do you use to record Farming Simulator 18? I use OBS Studio. I simply just AirPlay it to my computer and record that with OBS Studio. Nothing really complicated or fancy there. Jeremy was saying for Farming Simulator 18, look at the money tick away while in auto drive mode. That is true. Yes, when you turn that on, you are essentially paying basically like a hired worker like you would in 17 here. Ludwig was asking for Northwest Texas. Is that server 1 or server 2? Northwest Texas is server 2. And like I said, the plan is now that we've pretty much finished our 10,000 cow goal, we'll be switching over to the county lines map next. Plan is this weekend, hopefully. So there might be one more episode on Texas yet. I haven't really decided yet. All depends when I get the new map up. And then server 1, by the way, is Parker's Prairie. Okay, there we go. And we'll bring him some water here a moment, and then we should be complete. Like I said, hopefully we get to some planting here, or maybe we'll check the animals too, make sure they don't need any serious care. They probably do. Again, we've kind of been neglecting them. Yeah, we take care of them like once every so often. Nathaniel was saying, great video. Thank you very much for that. Thomas was saying, console users are completely shafted. Maybe not so much by Giants, but by Microsoft and Sony. More Sony holding the consoles back, I believe, as well. They are more resistant to mods, and both consoles are only released the same content Xbox One users suffer. So I'm glad to believe. So yes, I think you're pretty much right on that. Let's see, where is our water tanker? We just need a truck here, I guess, which should be right around the corner. So yeah, like Thomas was saying there, not so much, you know, Giants' fault for not being able to give the mods out. It's more Sony and Microsoft that control that pretty well. You know, and the reason for that, Sony and Microsoft, they want to make sure the users of their systems have a great experience. And as you folks can probably tell on the PC, sometimes mods don't always result in a great experience. So that is more than likely why. We might as well just fill this up here first. I'm not, again, sure how much water we'll need, but we'll just fill it up. And again, for those of you not familiar with the consoles, you can get mods for Farming Simulator 15 on, or Farming Simulator 17 on the console, but they have to go through an approval process through Giants. And of course, I'm sure that's pretty strict as far as what can get approved and what can't be approved. And I know, for example, you know, no John Deeres can be approved because Giants does not have a license for that. And, you know, I'm sure you won't see mods that have extra scripts in them. I'm sure you won't be seeing that on consoles either. You know, for example, Pleasant Valley or some sort of map like that. Okay, we'll start filling the water here. Let's see, did I miss the trigger here? Too bad that doesn't actually work that way, but it doesn't seem to. Oh, there we go. Refill greenhouse. Maybe it just wasn't close enough for the other one there. Dallas was saying they should bring out a new John Deere tractor, tracks and duals, and a harvester. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but if you're talking like the new John Deere 700 series combine for mod, yes, that would definitely be cool. Oh, there we go. Or, for example, some of the newer John Deere tractors as well. The newer 9R series. We do have the 8R series, obviously, so we got a pretty good version of that, I would argue. But, yeah, definitely a good set of John Deere combines. And a good set of John Deere 9R tractors. You know, some 9RTs, RXs, etc. And I kind of explained that to last episode for those who are not familiar with John Deere's numbers there. The 9R series is John Deere's wheeled articulated tractors. The RT series is John Deere's 9R, or 9RT anyway, I should say. The 9RT is John Deere's 9R series with dual tracks. And then John Deere's 9RX series is the 9 series with quad tracks. So that's kind of how their numbers work there. Darren was asking, what version of Hobbs Farm is this? This is the updated 1.6.6 version. The reason I say it's updated, it is still the same version. It's just been updated without a version change. And I got my particular version at least off of Facebook. So for those of you check out Hobbs Farm on Facebook, you should be able to find it. He was also asking, Darren was asking, how do you update without losing your save data? Just delete out the old map, put the new map in. Don't have to do anything else. You don't have to change your save game or nothing like that. Bryant was asking, currently downloading Hobbs Farm. Where do I get the field deleter from? Great job with the commentary on course play screw-ups. Thank you very much for that. Where do you get the field deleter from? That is actually part of the game. And under under miscellaneous. The field deleter is this Lizard R5000 here. That is the field deleter. Now, if you're asking about the silage deleter, again, looks exactly the same. Its only purpose, though, is to delete silage, primarily out of bunkers. You know, so if you got a bunker that's bugged out, you can use that to delete out that silage. And, of course, like I said, the field deleter there, that's just the in-game field deleter. And you can simply use that to delete fields. Really not much else to say about that thing. You know, back shortly after we started on Hobbs Farm, we actually did that on our fields here. You can see these orange sections here. Those are deleted portions of the field. Made it much, much easier for course play to do its thing over there. And hired workers for that matter. Michael was saying, congrats on 10,000 cows. Oh, you know what? I think we got them all full. Yes, I believe we do. Okay, cool. So yes, thanks for that, Mike. 10,000 cows. And again, thanks to everyone that helped with that. Definitely was a bit of work there getting all those cows up and running and finally reaching that number. So we definitely beat our Farming Simulator 15 record, which was somewhere around 8,600 cows. At least as of the last time I was on the server, we were at 10,680 cows. I'm sure it's probably been going up since then if somebody's played on it. You know, reproduction and all that stuff. At least if they're fed anyway, which probably isn't going to last long. Okay, should be good there. Maybe just do a quick check on the animals, see where they're at. Cows look like they're good. Sheep are quite good as well. Cleanliness could maybe be improved. We can fix that here in a moment. Getting the sheep here are pretty easy. Just a little short trough here. Just kind of go back and forth on it. Call it good. And usually I just kind of park it in the middle here. Keeps the middle section clean at least. I don't know if it actually accomplishes anything or not, but that's where I've been leaving it. Oh, Ryan was saying, for single player, you should use nothing but antique farm equipment. That would be fun. The only problem I have with antique farm equipment, at least in Farming Simulator, it seems like a lot of the antique equipment is very poorly done. Don't get me wrong, there's some really good stuff out there as well, but there's a lot of very poorly done stuff as well, so that's probably why I stay away from some of the antique stuff a little bit. Okay, do your thing. Again, that's just a course by course for this, by the way. Just created one that went from one end to the other. Nothing too fancy there. Eli was saying, have I told you I love your videos? Because I do. Well, thank you very much for that. Cubs Vert was asking, can I have a shout out in your next video? Yes, you can. Oh, next one here I think is Big Bud. Like I said, we'll be doing some planting here. We'll grab the Big Bud. I got the John Deere 9620R working on field 10. Yeah, still working on field 10 there yet. Oh, which reminds me. We need to sell some more sunflowers. So I think we do anyway. Yes, 353 sunflowers left. Price is back up a little bit. So basically what I did, I just got course play here set to run 2 loads, and then we call it good. And of course loading out sunflowers. Okay, we'll just start with field. Is this 2 here? Field 2, I believe it is. Yes, field 2. Oh, and what shall we plant? Probably not wheat. Barley, canola. Yeah, we can do some canola. Why not? All right, well, let's do soybeans. Soybeans. Let's do soybeans, yes. That just seems like a good crop to plant there. Oh, you know what? And we should probably run some fertilizer across the field first. Where is our sprayer? Probably out in some field. Not too far away, actually. Where the hired worker quits, always in the other field here. Why would the Peterbilt be in traffic? That's kind of weird. Oh, our tractor in the way. That could be it. Brandon was saying, okay, fairly new to the game here. Made enough money to buy logging equipment and afford switching to only trees. And we better look out before we take out our boom here. There we go. He was saying, I have the money and land. My question is, can I turn all my fields into tree farms? Or can I only plant in grass areas and forests? Says he already bought the harvesters, chippers, log trailers, good truck. Basically all the equipment needed for logging. So yes, you can absolutely do that. You can plant all the fields in trees if you want. You don't just have to stick with the grassy areas. Although as far as doing, if you're doing wood chips with poplars, yes, you do have to stick with the fields for that. You can always, of course, plow your own field there as well if you wanted to, but you still do have to do that on a field. But as far as actually planting trees goes, you can plant them anywhere. And, you know, if you want to make it look a little better, you can plant the grass on the field first and then plant trees. That is definitely up to you, but Brayton was saying hi. John was saying, with the tractors and articulated tractors, Courseplay always messes up on the turns because the turning is instantaneous. Or with articulated, the whole tractor shifts side to side when turning. That makes any sense, which it does, yes. Hi man, they stay with a front wheel steer or only tractors for Courseplay, and don't seem to have any big problems with that. Might be why Courseplay doesn't line up every time to overload with a truck. That could be as well. Although Courseplay does actually work somewhat well with articulated tractors. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously. I would definitely recommend, sticking with a front wheel tractor if it's your first time using Courseplay. But Courseplay is supposed to work with articulated. And it just seems like Courseplay is excessively derpy at times. Again, don't know why. Avery was asking, or saying as well, asking and saying, nice video, and will Hobbs Farm ever come to console? I very much doubt you'll ever see Hobbs Farm on the console. Especially now as well. I believe the newer version of Hobbs Farm, and yes, there's, to my knowledge, a newer version, has some factory elements to it. So even more you can do on Hobbs Farm. And before anybody asks, no, I don't plan on upgrading to that at this point. Once we are finished selling the silage there in the big bunker, which we could probably check and make sure it's ready to go, or getting close to being ready to go. Probably has a little ways to go yet, I would assume, but see how close it is. Once we're done selling that silage there, I plan on wrapping up this map. So probably be a few episodes here yet, not sure. Maybe we'll get to the end here, we'll go check and see where that bunker's at. Daddy's Little Monster was saying you should plow fields 2 and 3 together here on Hobbs Farm. Me personally, I don't ever plow fields together. And that's up to you, but I do not. I leave the fields where they're at, typically. Exception would be obviously with this map where I deleted out portions of 4 and 14, but that was deleting, not adding. Bluebird was saying, great video. I'm enjoying the Farming Simulator 18 series. It's a good mobile game. I do wish it had a bigger cultivator and seeder, though. Farming Simulator 16 had a larger cultivator. Yes, and I'm assuming here that at some point probably Farming Simulator will release an update to the game and maybe provide us a larger cultivator and seeder. That's kind of the way it was back in Farming Simulator 16 as well. We didn't have a larger... I don't know about the cultivator. I think it was the cultivator too. I don't think we had a larger cultivator and seeder to start with. It wasn't until later in the game they released a larger cultivator, and then finally released the... Is it the Amazon Condor, I think? The larger seeder? I forget which seeder it was again, but they did finally release a larger seeder for Farming Simulator 16 as well. Otherwise, before that, I forget if the biggest one was 6 meters or 9. I'd like to say it was 6, though. Anyway, looks like we're mostly caught up on most of the comments there, since we read them last episode. We do have a couple other ones here from the other video. Garrett was saying for fixing the quad video there, stop wasting your time, clean the carburetor and or replace it, and check your air filter. Yes, so for those of you watching the four-wheeler repair videos there, the Honda 4Trax 200SX, been working on that for the last few months, trying to get that up and running. So far, I've not been too particularly successful. We rebuilt the motor. Well, we started out by cleaning the carburetor out, rebuilt the carburetor. That seemed to help a lot as far as the engine running smoothly, but still did not fix our engine, or our problem with the engine shutting off after 5 to 10 minutes and not restarting. So this whole issue, for those who haven't followed along with this, see if I can explain this here. The whole issue started probably a year or so ago with the four-wheeler shutting off after 5 to 10 minutes of running, maybe 15 minutes, usually 5 to 10 of running, and it will not restart for a couple of hours. You pretty much let it sit, and after a couple hours, it would finally restart. So we started by trying to fix it. We started by the carburetor, I believe it was. We cleaned out the carburetor, rebuilt that, got it all looking nice. It was very, very bad. That did not fix the issue. We next moved on to rebuilding the motor because we did a compression test and the compression was quite low. Compression is supposed to be, I think, 170 to 190, and we only were having about 100. So quite a bit lower than what it's supposed to be. So we rebuilt the entire top portion of the motor there. New cylinder with sleeve in it, a new piston, new gaskets all the way around. Got it all back together, fired it up, ran great. I mean, it ran really good. You know, started up really nice. We always used to have trouble starting it. You know, started really hard. But yeah, after rebuilding the motor, it started up really nice, ran really good. But only, again, ran for 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 if you pushed it. But generally after 5-10 minutes, it would shut off, and it would not start again for, you know, an hour or two. I mean, you could sit there and turn it over and over and over. It would do absolutely nothing. Wouldn't start at all. And again, like I said, you know, you let it sit for a couple hours, go back to it, start it, fire it right up. Like nothing was wrong. The only problem is you can only run it for, you know, 5 to 10 minutes, which, you know, isn't a very long ride when you think about it. And, you know, if it dies out in the middle of nowhere, which it likes to do, that wasn't any fun. So anyway, we moved on after that. I think, what did we try next? I think it was an ignition coil. I think we tried an ignition coil next. That didn't fix it. Then we moved on to the CDI box. We put the new CDI box on. Didn't work at all at first. Took it back off. Put the old CDI box back on. Started it up. Ran great. Took the old CDI box off. Put the new CDI box back on. And it ran great. So it's like, oh, well, maybe we just didn't have it connected well the first time or something. Something wasn't quite right. But we got the new CDI box back on. Ran it for probably a couple of hours. It ran great. We did not have any issues with it. It's like, all right, we finally got the issue fixed. Then we went to start it up the next time. It just started coughing and sputtering and not wanting to start and not sounding good. Just missing and backfiring and, yeah, just like I said, generally not sounding good at all. So not sure what caused that. We replaced the pulse generator now as well. That was the last thing we did. That did not help. So not sure if maybe just our new CDI box went bad, or if there's something that's causing it to go bad, or if there's something else wrong yet. So yeah, hopefully you folks followed that there. I know a little bit of a long-winded story there, but... And again, for those of you following that, those series of videos, you'll probably know a little bit more about it. Hopefully it makes a little more sense. Anyway, folks, looking at time, looks like it's about time to wrap up the episode. So that you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.